Introduce Mr. Mohammed Atiyah, CEO of Al-Itham Entertainment. Welcome, Mr. Mohammed. And also Mr. Nader Ibrahim, GM of Clusters within Marriott Saudi Arabia. Welcome. Thank you very much. Please have some. هنا صورتك هنا. That's all right. Have a seat. All right. All right. Thank you everyone for attending this session. It's a pleasure to have you here. Mohammed, Nader, thank you for being here as well. I don't think they need an introduction given that Al-Itham is one of the prominent Saudi companies, conglomerate here in the kingdom. They work on multi-sectors, F&B, retail and entertainment, and Mr. Mohammed, as I just said, leading, he's the CEO of the entertainment arm. Mr. Nader, Marriott, Saudi Arabia, part of Marriott International, more than 8,000 properties all over the world in more than 139 countries. Mr. Nader, given your role, as a local leader in the hospitality, how do you see Marriott growth plans in the kingdom aligning with the vision targets? And how do you see your projects helping in providing, the developments of new opportunities and new properties and services in the kingdom?
Thank you, Majid, and it's really an honor to be here again for the second year in a row, and to see how we are elevating the Hospitality Expo with different audience and different players coming to the market. That will only make us better in terms of elevating the hospitality in Saudi Arabia. Talking about what Marriott doing really in terms of expansion, we are really working very hard to make sure that we are really partnering the vision of 2030, and we have a huge amount of commitments to ensure that we are delivering that commitments for the future. We are working to make sure that we have a lot of tailored hospitality, customized based on the destination in Saudi Arabia, the heritage of Saudi, and also make sure that we are catered for the international travelers, and to make sure as well that we are customized for the local flavors of Saudi and hospitality of Saudi. Talking about the pilot projects, it's really important, especially at this stage of transformation. As you know, pilot, it's a great testament to test and to ensure new technology systems and new concept innovation in a real time. And that gives you really opportunity where you can modificate, you can develop, you can fix, and you can really plan your future out of those projects to get the best out of them. So pilot projects are really essential, and especially in transformation when you have to really test all different aspects of every project you do and every new concept you put in place.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Mr. Mohammed, going back, the vision targets, when you look at the targets when it comes to F&B and hospitality in general, you see that there are very promising targets by 2030. In your opinion, what do you think are key investment opportunities in these two sectors? And again, following up on the pilot projects, how do you see these opportunities and projects help in shaping the market here in the kingdom?
Thank you, Majid, for having us with you here. I think there is plenty of opportunity matching with the Saudi visions, which create many demands on the market. I think from opportunity on the F&B especially, I think first of all the franchising opportunity. I think this is one module which you can expand in such a huge market across globalizations, which is really to bring the local market test and also to expand on it. That's very important. Also the immersive and experiential F&B dining, which is really social dining, all of that, which is really leading heat across the market. Very important also the wellness and health, food and all of that, which is now also part of the quality of life and Saudi vision. So this also an opportunity which you can grow the market of health food and all of that. From pilot project, I think also there is a plenty of opportunity which really you can test the market and you do it, especially with all the season happening now across the entertainment and also across many other divisions. on the government level, which really you can come and bring your own concept and you test the market and you try it first before you get to the existing or the main locations. I think many of the projects right now which tested the market during the last 3 years and now prove their own concept.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much. Mr. Nader, Marriott, mashallah, has a presence in many of the hot and key entertainment and hospitality destination here in the kingdom, project-wise and region-wise. For an example, the Ritzy and Neom projects. How do you ensure, Marriott offering meets the demand of both the local and international consumers in these projects, given that those are growing hot destination in the kingdom?
That's a great question, Majid. I believe in our business, we have to make sure that we are tailoring our services and offering and facilities to every destination need. And of course, keeping in mind in the background that we are tailoring those facilities and services and experiences to the locals and to the Saudi local demand, as well as the international travelers. So it's all about really understand every destination in terms of the heritage, the quality, the history, to understand as well the seasonality and the demand of every destination. So that can reflect on your offering in terms of food, in terms of promotion, in terms of creating really great demand to that particular destination. And we have tested that in different locations in Saudi, and it's been proved that it's quite dynamic because you have to be always ahead of the game. You have to be always ahead of every pace of entertainment, pace of different occasions happening, and to be part of the overall celebration. So I have to say this is one of the most dynamic markets in terms of hospitality motive and hospitality dimension, in terms of every day there is something new happening, in terms of trend and in terms of new occasions happening. But as a hospitality operators, this keep us on our toes all the time, and we love it because we have to be always having the right pace to match all of those demands and all of those expectations from the international travelers and from the local demand as well.
Emil, thank you very much. And it's very interesting that you talked about trends. And when we talk about trends, Mr. Muhammad, if we look at the past 5 years, we see there is a decline of around 45% in dine-in when it comes to consumers, and that puts a lot of burden on the suppliers when it comes to that. In your opinion, how does the Saudi, I would call it, F&B consumer help in shaping the future trends when it comes to F&B markets?
I think that's give a lots of opportunities again to the market to enhance the market. I think there is a plenty of concept opened across the regions, and many of them have really growing massively, which was not expected. I'll name many of them like 500,000. This is one of the best specialty coffee on the region right now, which is really potential. The growth he have, it's a very potential because the dynamic of the market, also the well-educated Saudi talent on the market and coming back from different regions in the whole world, which after their university degree and all of that, they know very well to do many concepts. I think many concepts on the market, that's put the pressures on many other concepts, which was only getting money because there is no other options. Now I think with a lot of options, then you need to watch out how you do your own concept, how you grow it, how you make it very welcome, very experienced. Because this is part, we have seen many closure of even fine dining concept because of the experience expectations from the customer. So let's say in other ways, Saudi clients are very, very picky on selecting the brands and selecting where they have to stay, where they have to enjoy. So very important because they may come one time and they don't come back. So very important when you create a new brand, create new concept, you need to make sure 100% that you are having the right concept, the right component, and also the right locations to expand.
Amazing.
Just want to add one thing on that because it's really important to understand that I think Saudi have a huge heritage in terms of food cuisine, in terms of the seasonality of ingredients. And we can see now the trend over the past couple of years that getting into the root of those selective ingredients and to be having a level of finesse into your F&B offering is really important. And to ensure that the Saudi cuisine always have the front line in terms of offering and quality and innovation as well. I know we faced a lot of international brand came to the market over the last few years. Some of them, they had a great track record abroad, and when they came here, they had to modify their offering and their quality to the local flavor of how this can be executed here. But I still believe that the Saudi cuisine itself have a lot of attraction, not only from the local Saudi audience, but also from the international travelers who come in to see the Saudi cuisine. And I think our mission as operators in the future to make sure that we are really matching that expectation and to have a diverse of opportunity that we can elevate the Saudi cuisine to the flavor of the international travelers, and to make sure that every restaurant we have in Saudi presenting a Saudi cuisine, sending a great message to build a great reputation around the cuisine, which it deserve due to the heritage and the history and the diverse of that cuisine between cities and between families and between seasonality of ingredients.
I totally agree with you, Nader. And, you mentioned international travelers. We've noticed with both, Saudis and international travelers, when it comes to hospitality, food tourism and dining becoming a very key component when it comes to hospitality and tourism. So if you could highlight, how does Marriott make sure, their offerings when it comes to food and beverages are catered, to those international partnerships? Maybe give us an example of an innovation or a partnership that's been proven successful in this market.
Yeah, of course. I mean, first of all, for the international travelers, when you look at their food consumption throughout the travel, the most important meal for them is mainly the breakfast, which the hotel they are staying in, they normally consume the breakfast. So our mission really is to ensure that the breakfast have that diverse of opportunity to match the flavoring of everybody. Not only that, we need to make sure that the Saudi cuisine come to the front line as well, where people can taste it and try it. And we have to keep in mind as well the nutrition intake of those international travelers, especially the corporate business travelers. Talking about the partnership we have done, of course, we look at the opportunities in every market. So we do a lot of market studies to understand the opportunity in every market, because it is quite different. From Jeddah to Riyadh is completely different dimension of demand. So for us, it's all about really keep up with, understand where the gaps in the market or where we can make impact in that market. And as Marriott International, we have a huge amount of partnership from a Michelin star level all the way to casual diners. And when we see opportunity, we always grab those opportunities by bringing new name or new opportunity to such a destination or such market. We have tried that on a pilot level project and implementing new concept level, and it was proven to be very successful and add a huge new edge to the market as well. Not only for our offering in terms of international travelers or to the Saudi market, but also to the competition in the market itself. Because the minute you take an edge and you elevate your service to a certain level with a new concept or new offering, your next door neighbor or next door competition, they have to raise their level to become head to head. And that's a very healthy competition to the market.
Correct.
So that's how we approach it from our side.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I know we're running short on time, but we have a few minutes for Q&As if someone has a question. Yes.
Thank you for the great session you already made. I'm sales director for Rove World. We are a travel agency, but we are specialized on the eco-friendly tours and the eco-friendly everything, like agriculture, the rural and this stuff. We are already came to Saudi. We're investing in the Saudi market, but I have two questions, one for Mr. Maged and one for Mr. Nader. The first one, the networking for the eco-friendly hotels on Saudis, it's very, very, very poor. Until now, we are almost like 4 months, we launched it already, but to can find a big platform or network for the eco-friendly on Saudi market, it's very poor. So if you have a solution, or if you have something, as I already now based on the vision of 2030, the already Saudi is the green hotels initiative. It's a part of it. Already started like stuff. So this is a very big lack on this. And for Mr. Nader, as a eco-friendly, Marriott already invested in a lot of hotels like that. So did you already start stuff like that in Saudis or not? And if not, what on the future? Thank you.
Well, it's a great question. Thank you very much for bringing this. I mean, for Marriott International, I mean, we have started a lot of, not only now, but a few years back, we started to introduce new programs, and those programs became part of our brand strategy and part of our classification of our hotels. Those programs, starting from the food waste programs to food production, to recycling of food, to other different programs which goes under the umbrella of sustainability. I think this is the language for the future. We saw the pressure coming already from a lot of corporate clients which come into the market of Saudi, and their commitment to sustainability in terms of the hotel they are staying in became more and more part of their auditing points. So we have no choice but to bring that promise to the day-to-day operation now. We invest a lot in terms of a lot of different sustainability programs. I believe my boss was here 2 sessions before that, and he was talking about the full enhancement of Marriott International in terms of sustainability and what we bring in terms of overall commitment to the society, to the country, and also to the international travelers.
Thank you, Nader. And also, if I may add, when you talk about eco-friendly and its relation to the vision and what have you, let's take a step back and look at the demographics of the kingdom. We're looking at around 70% of the population under the age of 35. People are more focused into healthy lifestyles right now, into more healthy diets, healthy exercising and all of that. When I heard our colleagues discussing, the offerings, you mentioned offerings from a Michelin star level, fancy dining all the way to the casual dining. But also we see a lot of businesses now in the different areas of Saudi. I mean, I'm proud when I talk about Saudi Arabia, I talk about the different region where you have cities, you have the mountains, you have the coastal areas. We see a lot of successful businesses, offering the farm-to-table kind of food right now. And also, when you look at the government support as well, you have programs that are supporting the wellness and quality of life, of the, both Saudi citizens and international visitors. One of the programs is the Quality of Life program. It's one of the 11 vision realization programs. And these programs are working continuously to make sure that the offerings we have in the kingdom between now and 2030s are all eco-friendly and in line with, the trends that are taking place, both in Saudi and globally as well. Thank you.
Yeah,
Do we have?
Yeah, and under this, maybe the minister could cover the network between the business owner and the new investor as a networking platform, or even like...
No, definitely. I mean, in the ministry, one of the services we do, we have investor services, we have dedicated teams to introduce both local and international new investors to the key players and stakeholders in the country. So I'll be more than happy, to get your contact. We have a full sector, food and agricultural sector. We have 22 different sectors, ranging from education, quality of life, hospitality, and all of that. So we'll have a dedicated team that, will look at your business case, look at what you're looking for, who you would love to connect with in the kingdom, and we'll be more than happy to put you in touch with both local investors, international investors, and government stakeholders as well.
I think this goes hand to hand as well with the local authorities, especially the tourism authority, where they deployed over the last few years a lot of great programs, and it's a commitment from every operator in the market to be committed to those programs in terms of classification, in terms of long-term plans. And what we have noticed that all our new projects in Saudi, and there is a lot of them, we build those projects based on full sustainability programs and keeping in mind the Ministry of Tourism Authority classification and their partnership as a stakeholders in the market.
Do we have any more questions? All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for participating in this session. I really enjoyed the time. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and have a good day.
And also tackling different areas in the country. So with our esteemed panel, we will have a couple of questions with them. We'll then answer them together, and we'll take you through all of the information. Thank you for being with us today. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's dive right in. So I think to break the ice, let's start with our first question. And this first question refers to the role of educational institutions and vocational training and how they take place in preparing the local workforce for the demands of this growing industry in the secondary cities. So we'll let Tariq start with the answer, and then we'll pass it around.
No, it's one of the great questions, actually. The industry of hospitalities need a proper talents, local talents to support the committees. Now, in the past, if I give you the past experience, we put a lot of effort to develop those local talents. And that's not actually my point. My point is that the big challenge which we face is to maintain them. And during that time, there are a lot of turnover on the hospitality industries. And the reason why is that those local talents, they have a doubt in their career future in the hospitality industry. But when the government has announced the vision of 2030, things has been completely changed. The local talents, they realize that the hospitality industries and tourism are playing a very strong role in the economy of Saudi Arabia. And immediately, the most of the government sectors has been adopt and change their strategies plan according to the 2030 visions to be aligned with them. I'll give you an example. Ministry of Education in 2022, they have announced the hospitality and the tourist programs in all their university across the Ministry of Tourism. What they did recently, they have spent actually more than $100 million to develop and to train 100,000 local talent candidates to be specialized in the hospitality industries, including 25,000 has been sent to the best top hospitality school in UK and Switzerland and in Spain. What we did as an Aleph Hospitality, we managed to adopt our internal training plan. Because now we are dealing with local talent, have enough experience. In the past, we have to start from scratch and teach them ABC. Now, no, you are dealing with people that having a well education, they have an experience, they have traveled and see the pure hospitality training, and they know how to deliver the quality service. So what we did actually, we have uplift our internal training plan in Aleph Hospitality from an basic start. No, we have let it to an advantage. We are targeting the department's head executive committees. We put specialized programs for them, how to support them during their journey to be a general managers. We have an exclusively training program that to be a general manager between 2 to 3 years. In the past, this will take more than 9 to 10 years. Yeah? Thank you.
Thank you. These are very good points. Thank you for sharing it with everybody. I think additionally, you know, the operators also play a great role supporting the government. Maher, would you like to share with us some of the things that IHG has done in their hotels and with the local talents?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all agree that talent is the most important pillar when it comes to the success of any hospitality project anywhere. Secondary cities, tourism cities, or major cities. So IHG Hotels and Resorts have been very successful in training people since 1975 in intercontinental Riyadh, and we still graduate talent into the industry. Yes, we don't always retain as much talent as we want, and we lose them to competition, but that's the nature of the business. Now, if we talk about secondary cities, it would be wrong to assume that the local talent that we have comes from cities where we operate. That's wrong. They come from all over the kingdom. Half of our talent today, or almost half, is Saudis. And we've managed to grow that percentage across the past few years. If you look at the history of careers where we have Saudi talent grow with IHG, they start in a certain location and retire in another. And throughout that journey, they move around with us and to grow their career and develop their path. So recently we've seen, as my colleague Tariq mentioned, a lot of focus on developing talent in remote tourism areas. We've seen institutes being announced, and we're very happy that they are being announced in areas where we have hotels in the pipeline. The last thing we want is to bring talent from different locations into remote secondary locations to operate. So with that, I think we're on the right path. It takes time for these programs to be developed, and we're anxiously waiting for them to happen and to collaborate with the government sectors to make it happen.
That's a great point you mentioned, to be able to hire talent from the city where the hotel is instead of bringing them over. I think Saudi offers very impactful diversity across the regions. Just to give you an example, the coffee, it's made in different ways in different parts of the country, and to be able to localize that experience for the local travelers, because they expect it, and as well to be able to showcase it to the international travelers, it's really a plus. Ghazi, from your side, what is your opinion on this?
First, I would like to add to Mr. Tariq said. It's good what the government have done with the educational program. Still, the missing for the secondary cities are the vocational training centers, where you can, from the young age, if we manage, because if we look 10 years ago, I had a problem convincing a local to work in hospitality. It was considered to be a little bit like a downgrade. Not today anymore. The community became more sophisticated, and they can see a future with their training. So if they are caught at early age, before graduating from school, enhance the vocational and training programs, then you have a big workforce, enthusiastic, motivated to go into the marketplace. How it's gonna impact the secondary cities? Bigger economy, bigger workforce. What we're having today, I don't know, maybe my colleagues can help. There is some internal immigration from remote areas to the cities, hoping to find a better job. If such vocational centers open in remote areas or in secondary cities, you will be able to keep those workforce in their home cities rather than traveling to other cities. And I want to mention about a collaboration with the government. It happened with me like a little bit more than 15 years ago. The government was in charge. They were creating training programs, recruitment or small training programs, let's call it vocational, although it was more specific. It was like a course-based that ends up for successful candidates with employment. And we as a private sector, we collaborated with the government to recruit those. So it was like a guaranteed offer for a salaried employee if he manages to go like a 3-month training with a certain vocational center. A lot of people applied because the government governed it.
These are great examples, and I mean, what we do in LSI, we have hired people who have come to us with no experience, but they have that spirit to serve. They really carry that hospitality, and we've taken risks that have actually paid off, and we're very happy with giving young people this opportunity. So I fully agree with what you've mentioned, and I'm glad that we've all experienced it from our own point of view. Let's talk about a bit, entertainment and retail and cultural sectors, and let's try to, share with the audience how commitment between government and private sector would also help to boost these occupancies in secondary cities. For example, Asir has really become the go-to destination in the kingdom when it's too hot everywhere else. But to have these destinations, with a good demand and people coming over across the year, there's also an uplift of entertainment that, could potentially happen in partnership between public and private. Would like to share their opinion.
Yeah, personally, I believe that entertainment can attract tourism, and it can create a destination. I'll give you an example that the Mam city will be one of the city which will host the Asian Cup 2027. Abha and Nasir, as you mentioned, it will be one of the city which will host FIFA World Cup 2034. If we see the investment of the PIF, they are developing more than 21 entertainments in 14 cities around the kingdom. 95% of those cities are in the secondaries. So all of this entertainment will create a guest experience, different guest experience, will attract investors, will attract tourism, locals and international. And we recently, we have signed in a hotel in Abha under the brand of IG Indigo as a franchise. And one of the key that we took in consideration to take this hotel is the location. It was next to the biggest mall in Asir, and it's in a prime location. That we are sure that it will be an attractive comparing to other location. Could be also other areas like a season, Riyadh season. No, see how Riyadh season is well known. I'm 100% sure that when the government develop the infrastructure of those secondary cities, there will be Abha season, Taif season, Asir season. That will attract exactly what you can see, that GCC countries are coming to Riyadh to attend and enjoy the entertainments of Riyadh season. It will happen in Asir and the secondary cities.
Yeah, and just to add to that, the beauty of these seasons is that they're very different. They provide different experiences to the travelers, so then it's not repetitive across those seasons. So that's great. Just to add to what Tariq mentioned, if we look at those entertainment activities, they've also encouraged local tourism to expand. And we see a lot of Saudis stay within Saudi Arabia for entertainment rather than travel abroad for those experiences. If you look at the numbers of 2023 that were issued by the Ministry of Tourism, spending from the local population increased by more than 50% year over year so far. So we're seeing that it's working, and it's really attractive for the local tourism and encouraging it. We also see a lot of influx of foreigners from neighboring countries to attend those entertainment events. I can give an example on Middle East, where IG Hotels and Resorts is a sponsor. I mean, you see that a lot of locals in the grounds, but you see a lot of visitors coming as well, staying in our hotels to enjoy those entertainment activities.
I want to build on that. Riyadh before Riyadh season, before the boulevard, was one economy, and after the boulevard there's another. So let's agree that entertainment / cultural is a very good motivator. It's a catalyst to enrich the whole economy with two goals. We need to increase the footfall to that remote area or to that secondary city. Second, to increase our expenditure per capita. Boulevard did both. In fact, it did not bring from other cities. It brought from out of the kingdom. So number of inbound flights benefited from the surge in number of visitors. And the whole economy, not only the boulevard itself, all the supporting restaurants, all the supporting services, hotels, furnished apartments, it created a whole sub-economy. It's happening already in remote areas. He mentioned Dammam. PIF is already investing in the rig. Once the rig is there, Dammam's economy is going to change. So, moreover, Saudi Arabia have 9 regions, with each one of them has its own cultural heritage. So building on that, you can have a tour and see 9 different, I don't want to say cultures, but in fact they are. So it's very diversified and it creates a big attraction, especially for international travelers. And if you want to discuss now the worldwide trend, it's not, I've heard it yesterday, in fact. I don't want to go to a hotel where the scenery is a screensaver. Those are the 50-year-old. The youngsters, they want to be interacting with the locals. They want to learn new things. They want to be in contact with those. This is what Saudi can offer and will offer. In fact, they are already offering it. So if we go and look at the whole Red Sea area, Asir, I've been to more cities in Asir. And you can see the differentiation between that. I went to the north, to Turef, and you can see a totally different scenery there. So building on cultural / entertainment, because like 2019, the government did a Suda seasons. And it was something really encouraging to see people going 3,000 meters above sea level to enjoy entertainment, restaurants, and be in contact with the locals, cultural.
Yeah, exactly. It really becomes about experiences, and when you have an inflow of tourists or travelers, it really brings up the whole ecosystem and it helps everybody else. I think before we open to the audience for questions, I'd just like to see a quick show of hands. So, anybody's been in more than 2 or 3 cities in the kingdom? Anybody's been in, if you have been in more than 3, but if you've been up to 4, please keep your hands up. 4 cities in the kingdom? 5 cities in the kingdom? 6 cities in the kingdom? Excellent. So I think there's still, even within the audience, there's still space for us to, travel a bit more within the kingdom. I think the show of hands shows that. And now we'll open the floor for any questions if anybody has, please.
Hi, my name is Raiz. I'm from Riyadh-based company. Can you please highlight what is the emerging trends in the hospitality industry for the secondary cities and how that trends adapt the logistics?
I could not hear your question.
Could you please repeat which trends do you want us to identify for you?
Emerging trends for the secondary cities in the Saudi Arabia, like innovative emerging trends for the secondary cities in Saudi Arabia, then how to adapt that logistics teams.
Okay, so there's trends. The emerging trends in the secondary cities. So first of all, they've opened to tourism. So you've seen that there were no hotels, they were locally branded or service apartments. So they're going beyond that level. They're being more institutionalized. So now you find, franchises, hotels managed by international operators that are coming into the cities. And you've also seen from the retail point of view, the development of strip malls. So it's not a mall, it's a strip mall that has, 6, 7, 8, up to 15 shops all in front of the road, and that becomes the hub for the cities. You see this in Tabuk, you see this in Taif. So this is what you've seen as a trend. And normally once you have these two coming over, then you go into larger malls. So it goes from strip mall to larger malls, community malls, and then sub-regional malls. That's what happens. But I'll let the experts also give us an insight of what they've seen when they've been on the ground.
I think as a trend, the biggest trend we're seeing is the passion from all the people to showcase the beauty of their region. So we see there's a lot of interest in developing hospitality destinations. People are very proud in showcasing what they have to offer. In terms of us as operators, what we bring to those cities is brands and services that help the locals showcase their own history and their own culture. So brands like Hotel Indigo, which was mentioned by my colleague Tariq, is all about bringing the neighborhood inside the hotel and providing service that is very localized. So we capitalize on that and we make sure we showcase and support the local community in those trends. What we also do is we try to hire from within the communities, and we try to use local produce as well to make sure we maximize on that experience. So that's it from our operators' point. You see that the experiences are different, and we want to make sure we highlight those differences so we create a varied kind of journey for a tourist into Saudi Arabia.
Can I add one more thing? Maybe it can answer your questions. The model of the franchise agreement that works perfect on the secondary cities, which we are doing as an Aleph Hospitality. We are the largest independent hotel operator in the Middle East. We are supporting, we had a very excellent success stories in Africa. The model of franchise is well known in Europe and United States. We're trying to bring it, we brought it almost 10 years ago in the Africa region, and it was a very success story. We are supporting the international brand, such an Intercontinental Holiday. We are operating their brand as a franchise in Africa. In Cameroon, we are operating an Intercontinental Hotels. We noticed that this is a support brand to the secondary, support model to the secondary city. We extended our growth. We get into the GCC countries. We have hotels has been opened before the World Cup in Qatar as a white label. We open it within 6 months to take the advantage of the World Cup of the last World Cup in Qatar. We grow in Dubai, in UAE, the concept of the franchise. We are operating more than 650 keys within international brands such as Marriott Marquis and Hilton in Dubai City. We're not worried to bring this model to Saudi Arabia. Actually, we believe that this model is purely needed in this time to be aligned with the vision of 2030s to develop those secondary cities. And as my colleagues, it was a success story getting Indigo brand into Abha city. And we have so far more than 6 projects, mainly are in the secondary cities like Al-Baha, Baljurashi also. We are trying to bring those brands and operate it in those cities. Definitely will play and a great experience to those cities that international brands are getting in to those cities. Thank you.
I would like to add about trends. The whole world now became one city. Whatever you have on Instagram showcased today in Paris, give it 3 months, it will be served in Riyadh. In 6 months, you can find it as far as Turef. So, in terms of globalization, we are living it. Social media is making it a lot easier. Add to it the venturer spirit in the Saudi youth. You have a lot of entrepreneurs in the hotel industry and in the food and beverage. Both of them are young, courageous, and they have the spirit to follow up. What you have to ask not following trends, creating trends. Saudis, they started creating trends rather than following the global. So if you are keeping an eye on your Instagram, you can see a lot of things that are unique to the region where you are.
We have space for one last question before we are asked to make space for the next panel. Last question, thank you.
أحمد عبد السلام براس بيل كمباني. الكويشن as hospitality leader, did you think this self-check-in service apartment or the apartment, the new edition that's happening in Riyadh now, all people is use it, they transfer this apartment to small hotels, they use gather in, they use Airbnb. Do you think how much this market will grow? And also, did this market eat from hotel cake or it's just separate thing?
Can you repeat the last section of the question?
Did this self-chicken apartment is take this eat from the cake of hotel? This will take from hotel, yes, or just
Can I? Yeah. I mean, the beauty of the market, there's a product for every traveler. I don't think we're reaching a place at a stage where we have more rooms than the market can handle. I think if you ask anybody about Riyadh today, what we need is more rooms, any kind of rooms. Call it service apartments, call it hotels or whatever. And all platforms are benefiting from the congestion we're seeing in this market today. So I don't think we're at a stage where we're competing. I think we're complementing each other as different providers for accommodation in a market that is growing and will continue to grow for the foreseeable future. So I don't think there's a competition there yet.
Just to add to this, from the government point of view, what you have seen is, so MOT has created regulations for classification of chalets and service apartments. So it's already something that's fully regulated. If you want to operate, say, your house on Airbnb, you're allowed to do so, you require a license. And then if you want to exceed 9 units, then you require a different type of license. So this is something that does not compete with hotels directly. It complements the hotels and it allows different segments of the market to book something that fits their needs, their budget, and the location they're looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'd like to...
May I?
Please.
Who is your customer? He likes to self-check-in or he doesn't. Hospitality is all about interaction. If you want to be welcomed, shown your room, shown the restaurant, how to operate your state-of-the-art jacuzzi, or close your curtain with a remote control, or voice-operated lighting, you don't want to self-check-in. If you are a businessman coming on a conference, you want to check in the early morning, check out early evening, you don't want to interact with anyone. So it really depends on the market, where you are operating, who are your customers.
It's a promising marketing. It's a promising chance. It's a promising market.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about it.
Yeah. It is a promising, adding on top of what Maher has said that. It is a promising, and it's a different guest type.
Which one? A lady wanted to ask a question? A lady?
Yeah, thank you all for this panel. Actually, my question regarding the second cities that currently not ready or not equipped with the right, let's say, facility, hotels, furniture apartment. Do you think that there is an opportunities from you as an operator to make, let's say, half day, full day trips, especially for those cities near to the capital cities? Like I am from Safwa, which is very old city. Maybe some travelers, they are interested to see old cultures with natural restaurants, old ones, to meet the local old persons, to talk to them. Do you think that you can capitalize on those opportunities?
There's always an opportunity, and of course we can capitalize on that. The ideal scenario would be to prepare those destinations to welcome tourists in large amounts. And if you look today at some of the efforts that are happening in tourism cities, we're working with local authorities to create those tours for us in hotels to promote them in nearby cities that have hotels that are equipped to welcome tourists. So what we struggle with today in such solutions is the lack of such tours that we can sell in our hotels to a visiting tourist. Once they are created, and we see they started, but not in a large scale. Once they are created, then hotels will be more than happy to promote them to enrich the visit of the guest that is staying in those hotels.
Again, to your customer and your hotel location. I can tell a story. I opened a hotel in Turef. I did not take into consideration the transient, the passing by travelers going to the border, traveling to Jordan. The main purpose was industrial, for the workers in the mining business. But daily, we used to turn down 3 to 4 customers asking for a day use. On the way to their border, they want to rest for a couple of hours, they want to sleep. Rather than sleeping at the petrol station, they wanted. So the customer was telling me what to sell. It's up to you to decide to sell it or not. The second alternative is when you want to promote half-day services. Because on a road trip, there is no way you can promote your hotel unless you put a banner in the middle of street. But if you are in a destination where you cannot spend more than half a day, let's give an example, seashore. On the way to ruins, let's say in Jordan, because I've heard it a lot. On the way, they need to stop to see a certain ruins. But they don't have, it's not enough to fulfill the whole day. Then you can agree with the tour operators to use your hotel for a half-day use. I think maybe I have answered your question.
Thank you very much. We'll make space for the next panel. Thanks.
Thank you.